Hello, everyone, and welcome again, hopefully, unless it's your first time. For your first time, this is a Filthy Talk on a Filthy Lots YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. Otherwise, welcome back, everybody, to a Filthy Talk. I'm Trevor Gemma, I'm your host. Sitting to my left, joining us again is Roz Young. Und then to my right, for the first time on an actual episode, she was in our launch video on the Filthy Talk set before it looked fully finished. Right. We have Lauren Beason. Thank you for joining us. And Nor Razzak.
All right, thanks everybody. Welcome to AFL's 2020 Election Watch. We are going to be here all night until the results are called. Let's bring up the interactive map and have a look at the results right now. We're going to bring up Arizona. Maricopa County right now is, hello, what? What's Alex, what? Are we not?
Yeah, we don't have an interactive map.
We're not doing a
no
thing?
No, we don't have.
Because they're still count.
No, we're not doing an election episode.
Right.
No, we're going to talk about something different. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. All right, I guess we're not doing that.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. That's
Fine.
okay.
It's fine. People need to know. They can Google it.
Yeah, it's true. They probably are.
I was just saying what a positive influence you've been in the office all week, though, because you've been managing, making sure everybody knows it's all gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
1 more years.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be fine. No, I mean the opposite.
Whoa, God.
The opposite.
Oh,
the opposite.
okay.
The opposite.
4 years of growth and wonderfulness, right?
Yes.
And for the first time joining us as fact checker, we have the return of Ash Turner, but in a different role. Thanks, Ash.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
So yeah, she's fact checking and she is our chat liaison. So
and she is a traitor.
She is a traitor, but you don't know that at home yet. So that's a weird, baseless accusation at the moment.
Still true.
I mean, as you guys may notice, there's a certain theme. We kind of like try to put things on the set, what we're going to talk. Anyway, before we get to anything we're going to talk about, what are you drinking? Noah?
This is the Electric Company Blue something sour red drink.
Yeah?
It's a beer.
Yeah? What do you think of it?
It's the same one that I've had every time I've been on this show.
Oh, weird.
So I like it.
Oh, clearly.
I don't know where it comes from. I always forget where it comes from.
Electric bicycle.
Electric bicycle.
Yeah.
Something
There you
jam session sour.
Delicious. Yeah.
What about you, Lauren?
I'm drinking the North Point Strawberry Blonde, and yeah, it's supposed to be a dry month, but you know, Filthy Talk.
Oh.
That's what January's for, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do one then too.
Oh.
I have to reset my tolerance because it gets a little out of control.
Do you do it as a resolution?
Yeah.
I don't make New Year's resolutions.
No, well, not as a New Year's resolution, just of like this month. This
just
month,
say, I'm
I'm
just
gonna
gonna
get my
do
shit
it.
together.
I think like universally January is generally like a dry month, right? Isn't it?
Well, you're like broke.
No.
No? Okay.
Not for me. I'm drinking the Electric Bicycle Atomic Jam.
That's the one,
Same
yeah.
as you. Yeah, it's not October anymore, so I'm not drinking pumpkin beer, but pumpkin beer is still available. I need to get more. Yeah. But this is pretty good. We've got to finish this. Otherwise, I'll keep drinking it.
Oh, you mean the beer, not the election results?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
I mean, I drink that too, just in my consumption. I consume it.
What about you, Roz?
I am quickly working my way through the same thing as Lauren, North Point. Strawberry
nice.
Blonde. Big fan.
Yeah? Have you had that one before?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been on the tap here for a little while, so you know we've been in and out.
We are not drinking as much lately, which is surprising because 2020, we should be drinking constantly.
I think everybody was really diving into the pumpkin beers.
Oh, I certainly was.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I wasn't drinking anything on tap. This is the first thing I've had off the taps for a while.
I feel like you would like.
my fault.
You must drink this though, because it's not super hoppy. It's really sessionable.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's
I should try some.
you should because
I
it's
will.
not. It might actually be a Trevor beer.
Oh, okay. I'll give it a shot. It's amazing how many people think something is something I'm going to like, and then it very rarely.
Lauren, do you find it bitter? I don't find it
Oh
bitter
God,
at all.
no, it's sweet.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
Well, maybe I'll get up mid-episode if I finish this and go try that.
If
Which tap was it, middle or the right?
it's middle, currently has a Santa hat on it for reasons.
Oh, okay. Santa hat, easy to find. What about you, Ash? What are you drinking? What's in the not AFL glass?
White Claw. Just rocking the White Claw.
Okay, nice mug you got there. So, as Roz was saying, Ash, we're calling her a traitor because today
J'accuse!
is about Star Wars. Star Wars. If you have a question, make it a Star Wars question.
Or use the R2 app and just beep at us.
Yeah, so, but specifically of note within the last week, the new season 2 of The Mandalorian dropped.
I wish we could afford the music right now.
Oh God. Yeah. But let's not.
Playing in my head.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about season 2, specifically the first episode and what it's all about, but not right now because we don't want to spoil it for those of you who are like, oh, I wanted to watch Filthy Talk.
Yeah, so if you
and they're going to
guys-
spoil something. But we will.
Yeah,
but so not right now. We're going to hold off till later in the episode.
But seriously though, if you haven't seen it, just log off right now. Go watch it.
No. What the hell? No, don't listen to him. No. You're fired.
No one's
Classic
fired.
Noir.
No. Yeah.
But you do have to, drink the bad beer from now on.
A bad beer. What does that mean? Like a
Drink the West Coast Pale Ale.
Ew.
You wouldn't like that one.
Okay, so The Mandalorian. We're not going to talk about season 2 right now. We're going to talk about the show itself, and right now specifically the technology they're using, which is revolutionary and is especially interesting to a company like us because that kind of capabilities, if you're not like a massive multi-million-dollar studio that can book an insane amount of studio space for multiple set builds.
And when you can't fly right now,
Yeah.
go on location,
Yeah, you don't need to.
you bring it to you.
So for those of you at home who don't know what we're talking about, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian season 1, you should check that show out. It's amazing. In fact, Ash, who's touting all her Star Trek stuff right now, she said that The Mandalorian is the show that actually made her like Star Wars.
It is, yeah, absolutely. It's a rad show.
It's really good. Yeah.
Is that because it's kind of a space western? Do you like westerns?
I wouldn't say that I'm a huge watcher of westerns, but I don't know. There's just
Did you like Firefly?
I didn't watch it.
We will watch that. I didn't know you haven't seen Firefly. I don't know why I don't know that, but we should watch it. It's really good. It's only one season in a movie.
I've seen the first 3 episodes 4 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, I mean, it's the funny thing about The Mandalorian is it's essentially Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah.
And much like the original, like A New Hope was just a ripoff of Hidden Fortress, which, if you don't know, it's a Japanese movie. It's a hidden fortress in space. It's the same storyline, essentially.
And Hero's Journey. I mean, it is.
Yeah. It's the same
Classic.
sort of thing, and then The Mandalorian is essentially Lone Wolf and Cub, which is a series that,
and Return of the Jedi is basically Muppets Take Manhattan.
exactly. Yeah.
I've never heard it described like that, but now that you say it,
But yeah, have you guys what do you guys know about the virtual production
I was
aspect?
blown away by the fact that none of it was done on location.
Right?
Like when I watched it, I was like, oh man, this would have been such an awesome show to work on. They probably went to Tunisia again and all these cool locations. And then I watched the behind the scenes, I'm like, this was all in a stage?
Yeah, and
That's insane.
it's 20 feet high. It's a 270
Wraparound.
degree semicircle with wraparound LED wall.
Yeah.
It's like high definition LED screens with they use the Unreal Engine, which I'm excited where this is going because the Unreal Engine, they're using Unreal 4 and Unreal 5 is coming out, and the footage from Unreal 5 looks insane.
And even still, they talk about how they even thought that when they got to actual production that they were worried that there would be lag or there'd be problems and it just wouldn't feel real, and it blew even them away.
I mean,
get
we
onto
shouldn't
that
be-
set and be immersed immediately.
We shouldn't be all that surprised. We're using the same technology here on this set. As
Oh
you
yeah,
can
this
see.
is all fake.
This is all virtual as you can. Nope, that's real.
Sorry, that
Sharp,
one's real.
that's sharp.
working
probably.
in film,
It's actually real. Never mind.
I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time suspending my disbelief when I'm watching something because you're like, come on, I know what it takes to make something like that, and my mind's always going time, dollars, location.
Oh,
And watching The Mandalorian was probably one of the very few times that I was completely
you just bought it as a world.
I just bought it, and
I
that's
think
just hard.
Well, it frees them up is the crazy thing because, like you said, they spent so much time in season 1 going to just on Tatooine that I thought they went back to Tunisia as well because I was like, holy crap! And it's crazy because you can make it look like you're on and own a huge location because you can just rotate everything in the game engine. They're live rendering the game engine on the walls behind them and
There's
shooting.
there's this crew. I forget what they call them, the brain bar or something. The crew are making sure that translation happens in real time as the characters are supposed to be moving. And the parts that blow me away or the parts where they're on speeders or bikes,
Yeah.
or they're moving fast through a space, and they just nailed the motion, the parallax, all of these things that that we know about, how much a visual effects shot costs, and the team and the crew that it takes to make those things, and now they're just doing it live.
Yeah.
Or just like the lack of green spill, if nothing else, on people.
Well, there's no green.
I know.
Like that's just the thing, is it's actually like if you're standing on the set, it looks better on camera. Like if there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff you can look at, and when you're seeing the shot through the camera's lens, it's like they do touch-ups and stuff to it and like afterwards to make it sell it even more. But even when you're watching the monitor, like there's shots where it's on the monitor and it looks basically good enough to just be like, well, that's the finished product.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And they do interiors, exteriors, it doesn't freaking matter.
And the two of you guys, because you've both directed episodes for our other show that we're working on.
You can say Ready to Roll. We've seen
Ready to Roll.
before.
Our bigger show where you're seeing characters in full prosthetics and we have these amazing sets. But imagine if they walked onto a virtual studio set and you were just at the monitor watching almost exactly what your audience is going to watch.
Yep.
And I mean, you would just squeal with glee the entire time. Just
Well,
like,
that's the cool thing, is that having, like, we have a roughly 60-person crew with all our departments together, and that is a skeleton crew for film. But with 60 people and a space with a virtual studio, we could do what they're doing. Like, I mean, it would still take us more time, because like when you watch the behind the scenes, they
Pre-built
still
worlds.
and well, they build physical stuff. So, but like your physical elements are fewer and far between.
Yeah.
Because essentially they become mostly prop stuff, because it's anything you actually
Yeah.
literally have to interact with. But you can go anywhere and you can be there for as long as you want.
Yeah.
Like it's just wild.
Yeah,
No
it's just-
travel, one location.
A lot of time up front, probably building the world ready, like rendering it, getting that ready to go on the screens. Like, I wonder what, I mean, I have no idea because I don't work in post, but like, what kind of time would that take? Do you
well,
think?
when you look at video game timelines,
Yeah.
they're long.
They are long.
Well, they should be longer. They're not.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they're not long enough, and they rush things out. And
Yeah,
You can tell.
or they're just, it was a crunch in that world. And in post-production as well, you have a set time where you need something due by, and you have to literally make it all virtually. But at the same time, you can reuse a lot more of those elements, and with those new engines that are coming out, there are video games that are doing things that I don't think we thought would even have been possible in a game. And now that we're doing that the way that we're just doing open world gaming more and more, it's amazing. It's it's possible.
Well, and one of the coolest things that
Crazy.
you can do if you're building something that you're going to use in virtual production, you build it in the Unreal Engine, and then you can use like a Vive VR headset, and you can actually go inside. We've been using a program called Cinetracer. That's really cool. It's set up like a video game. You can build the sets and everything. It takes a ton of work. Nicholas Kedrock's been doing a ton of work on that, as well as Marshall Exani. But like, you can rotate through. You can place your camera wherever you want it. You can actually set the lights and stuff. But when you've built the world entirely in Game Engine, you can do the same thing in virtual reality. Like, I was watching someone do a thing in there, with, like, it showed a director, and he was changing his his lens with his little VR controller and like lining up a rock and getting a shot, and he's like, no, I switched to that. Oh, that's what I want. Like, you can do all your storyboarding in the world, which is crazy and would change everything for us.
And it's
I would love to.
It's often generating in the detail that you need only where you are.
Yeah.
And then as you move forward, it has to generate even more and more to get you with that like immersive real world experience. But if these guys are able to do it on a set in real time while the characters are moving around, your actors are on set making things happen, it's just
I mean, it just adds a whole
Wild.
other level, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, before this, it would all been blue and green screen.
You've been on a
Actors
mountain.
Don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. the actors
React to
don't
that
know-
monster.
Yeah, here's a
Ugh.
dude with a tennis ball on a stick. This is
Yeah.
your eye line, whatever.
Yeah.
It gives you something to interact with. But I mean, what I'm excited about is that as this technology becomes more prevalent and and cheaper to produce, then you're going to get some really cool stuff coming out of like independent filmmakers. People that want to do stuff at home that are like novice filmmakers. That would be kind of cool, because imagine if you had like $1,000 to spend on your movie, but you deliver a product that looks like $100 million film.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
you-
gonna. Oh, go.
Oh, do you think this is the death of green screen?
Not the death yet. It will be eventually, because when you're using VisFX on green or blue screen, like you also have to build your assets. You have to shoot whatever against a green screen, and then you have to composite in all the things as well. I mean, we should talk to Trevor Adams about this.
Yeah.
But instead, you're building everything and rendering it in game, and then when you're shooting it, you're actually capturing the effects in camera. And like if you watch the Mandalorian stuff, they've got overhead LED wall and basically surrounding them. And as they change the lighting is coming from the screens. Like it's creating essentially almost a real world for them to be in, which is also gotta help actors like crazy.
Yeah.
Like your performance against a green screen where you just have to imagine something and you have no idea what it looks like versus, oh shit, there's a dragon coming and you can see it.
And that's gonna come down to though, how much can your production support and afford up front versus a green screen, which is later, you know, you put all your stuff in and you worry about that in a traditional film flow, which is, you know, we all know the film industry is like, it's slow to change. So if this gets adopted, it's going to be great, but there's going to be a bunch of people who are still going to work slowly through, well, we do production and then we do post. We do all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you still will need to do post on it to clean it up.
Oh yeah,
and,
but like,
smooth the edges,
you
'cause
need to
there's,
have
like,
that post
separation
team is
of
working before your production team.
Oh yeah, you'll be post-production, post again.
Yeah.
It's pre-post and then post-post.
Yeah.
Do you guys, oh, what was my question I was about to ask? What were you just saying?
Post, green screen, slow to move filmmaking,
Slow to
change.
move, change, yes. Do you guys think that the pandemic, because like this, season 1 was shot before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then the emphasis on needing smaller crews and less people on set and all of that kind of a thing. If you're not on location and you're not, like, there's not as many elements to bring in, like you reduce your crew like crazy, which could be
God, yeah.
devastating for a lot of people as far as just the sheer workforce needed for film right now.
Yeah.
But do you think that virtual production is going to be fostered on like a fast track because of COVID?
Oh, definitely. I think that the world has changed so much in such a short amount of time, and everybody's playing catch up. But having this technology right in front of our noses makes all the difference. It's just going to be like, bam, who can we buy this from? Where can we set up? Like
Yeah.
Vancouver, if it doesn't have one now or isn't in the process of building one, is going to have one of these screens. I think pretty.
Oh
big.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I think the major roadblock is probably at this stage cost, right? Because I mean, building a fully immersive LED set with, you know, rendered backgrounds, that's not cheap right now. You can still do blue and green screen stuff probably cheaper than that. I would assume. Will it get cheaper and better and bigger? Probably, yeah. And will that be fast tracked? Yeah, I would agree
hell
with that for sure. I don't necessarily know or think that. Well, I don't know if it would completely replace real locations. I think there's still going to be a lot of filmmakers out there that let's
They're
go to
also
a
gonna
real
be
place.
shooting on 35 millimeter.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
Purists.
there's still, yeah. But more than just purists, even
But
if you're shooting
securing
digital.
and paying for a location would likely cost more. Like you're spending somewhere.
Sure, and I think it will probably come down to budget.
Yeah.
Right. Like if I was a filmmaker and I had a $150 million budget to shoot my feature, I'm going to a real place. But if I had $20 million and I needed to make it look like 150, and I needed all these real, quote unquote, places, then the 3D environment is the way to do it. Then I'm going to do it that way.
I mean,
Also, we're
imagine that
talking
you'd
about
be able
Star
to-
Wars as the example
Yeah.
where we can't just, we can make Tunisia look like Tatooine.
yeah.
But for the storytellers who are trying to tell genre projects where they need to build a world that's not exactly what we can find easily. Although most of the days now, even your basic shows have tons of visual effects in them, even if they're just down the street somewhere else. Like,
Well, you know how you can buy stock images.
Awesome.
I'm sure that there'll be stock locations for that kind of thing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
I
It'd
would
be like
assume so, yeah.
all the things you can do, just adjust
That's actually a
the
really
time.
good idea. Patented AFL
but
idea.
everybody should start. Everybody gets
heard it here
worried
first.
about it because you're a production crew member and you think like, oh, this could make me obsolete. Hey, man, just start working in post. Like they're gonna need
Yeah.
this huge team
Oh,
of
yeah.
people creating environments.
Well, and all of the people, like, there's so many
Jump in.
people that go through all the training to get into video games because it's such a booming industry, and this is it just translates practically exactly. I'm curious. Hey, Casey. Question for you.
Yeah.
How do you think the virtual production with the LED walls because they do have lighting to set us up. Casey is the like our head of lighting department as well here. It looks to me like they're using the light is actually being motivated from the LED screens themselves.
Yeah, they're rear projection, so it's a screen with a bunch of lights behind them that are projecting the image onto the screen, and then that also transfers down to the subjects.
Ah.
And so it is a rigging of a fair bit of light that goes with the virtual production, from what I understand. But I haven't stepped foot on one yet, so I can't say for sure. But I would love to. Apparently, William F. White's is starting to do some of that in town.
Oh, sweet.
So they've asked us what our interest is, and I said very interested. So
Hell yeah.
we'll see what happens.
And we'll let you guys know at home if and when I think it's when we end up, some people from here get onto a virtual thing.
Half of Ready to Roll is like green screen, and then half is here. And it's like, I can tell the difference.
Oh man, if we could utilize virtual production for Ready to Roll, it would be amazing. Natasha, when you held up that thing, were you trying to comment, or was that a note? Because I am so confused by the playback thing. It said playback? Okay, there was playback. I didn't know that was gonna happen this episode. Okay, cool. What I thought you meant was playback of, like, if you're on a virtual set, you could play back what you just shot. And I was like, can you? Would that be beneficial, or would you just want to watch it on the monitor?
Nice.
Okay, so you guys have all seen season 1 of Mandalorian.
Yes.
Now, what did you think of that? Because some people are saying it's the best Star Wars thing.
No, it's not the best Star Wars thing.
I think it's the best Star Wars thing since Disney has taken over.
Yes, I would agree with that. Well, no, it's still better than the prequels. So I think, for me, the best Star Wars stuff is, I'm a purist, so it's the original trilogy.
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6. But
Because of the experience you had as a kid watching those movies, right? There's a nostalgia factor.
Yeah, that kind
yeah,
of.
totally.
That
Yeah, and it's
factors
definitely
in.
stuck with me.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Everybody remembers like the first time you got like kind of introduced to Star Wars, or like how it affected your growing up, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a huge part of my life for a long time. I was born in the year of the Jedi. I was actually born. My mom was super pregnant and was on the news walking, probably waddling at this point, because I looked up the release date of Return of the Jedi recently, and it was just like right before I was born. So she had to have gone like opening weekend.
So
which
you're
is
listening
kind of
to the
insane.
music in the womb, and you're like, yeah.
This is my life now.
Yeah.
What is that?
Wait,
No, that was.
Were you humming Superman?
I did hum Superman. That was weird. Anyway, it should be dun dun dun.
nope.
Dun, dun,
Nope.
Nope.
What? What?
We,
Oh.
I just
Oh,
quickly,
go.
Clone Wars is the best Star Wars. Go, Ash.
What?
Whoa.
Oh, we got to get into that. The chat is calling out for you guys to give a shout out to our new friend, Azer from Tunisia, who is an astrophysicist.
What?
Yeah, say hi.
Hi.
Sure.
Acer, you say?
Azer, yeah.
Azer. Azer from
I'm not sure if I'm
Tunisia
pronouncing that
is,
right.
is watching us right now?
From Tatooine.
All the way from
Watching us
Tatooine. That's so
from
nice.
Essentially, yeah. The original Tatooine.
Yeah.
Well, that's super cool. Hi in Tunisia. That's sick. Thanks for watching. Wild. What did you just say?
Clone Wars. She said Clone Wars.
I know, I
can't
heard
even.
her. So I've only watched like the first little bit of the Clone Wars cartoon. I love Rebels.
Rebels is great.
Rebels is
Oh,
great.
you're talking about the TV show. You're not talking about the movie.
That is correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. I had a.
No, that was Attack of the
You're
Clones.
thinking about
Oh, you're
That was
right.
Attack of the Clones.
Oh, Lauren, I deserve that. I would deserve that.
What?
Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay, hot, yes. Also good. I'm still gonna go Clone Wars, but yes.
Okay, but that's interesting because it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars, but it's not just viewable. You have to play it. Which
But
isn't
you're
a
playing
problem.
a story.
Star Wars like works
True.
best when it's telling a side story. Like with the exception of the originals, I totally agree with you about the purist part. Like any of the main stories, it's like it's okay. I mean, but like anything that's working, I think on the side, like Rogue One that kind of thing. Personally, for me, I find that much more interesting fleshing out the world itself than
Rogue
focusing
One,
in on the Skywalkers.
I think Rogue One, yes, Rogue One lent itself really well to the original trilogy. I think that movie fit in, as far as like just movies go, that fit in better than the prequels or the sequels. Rogue One fit. It fit
I
well.
really
It wasn't
liked
perfect.
watching
You know what
Rogue
fit
One,
best?
but I think what I
Solo.
liked watching best were the reaction videos of people showing that movie to their friends and family, and then at the end of the movie when Vader comes
the
out,
Vader thing?
people just like losing their minds, being like,
Those reaction videos are awesome. Did you just say Solo?
I mean, I was joshing, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Solo is a fun movie.
I still haven't watched Solo.
People
Yeah.
shat on Solo hard, but I thought it was entertaining. I mean,
If it
it's
weren't for
not-
like one for one, like this is how he gets his
no, I
jacket.
get it. It's
How
not.
he gets his name.
Oh, is that
That's
what
how
it
you get.
is?
Yeah, it's an origin story.
The entire thing. Not every piece of somebody's origin has to be in 2 hours.
No, I get that, but here's the thing though: is that yes, it's not a movie that any of us wanted, but the result wasn't horrible. At least there's that. I thought it was entertaining.
So I
the
think-
last half of the movie was a lot better than the first half. We could have started halfway through that movie and still had a decent movie.
I think that my personally favorite Star Wars is something that only exists in novel form. It's the Jedi Academy trilogy by Kevin
You
J.
were just giving Casey crap about how you have to play it or watch it.
That's true. So I'm not giving him crap. I'm saying it is really good. Knights of the Old Republic was a great game.
Yeah, and
it
what
was,
you like, you got to read.
I'm sorry, I read with no pictures. Apologies.
How do you feel about reading, so canon versus not?
So the
in
whole
this
okay,
like,
Star Wars.
accepted into the Star Wars.
Star Wars in particular, like the thing that Lucas pissed me off with the most is, I think that like,
There's a long list. But
aside
You know, like,
from-
I like how he phrased that.
Well, yeah. Anything since Disney has been ups and downs, like with the movies, whatever. But like Mandalorian's great, it totally ups and downs. But the biggest move that pissed me off with Lucas was the moment he made the prequels, because like original trilogy and then nothing for a long time, and in that gap there was a ton of stuff that was made, like referred to as the expanded universe, that I know you've read a bunch of.
Oh, God, yeah.
You have as well. You haven't, but you should.
I've
You've only
read some, not
You've read
all.
the Timothy Zahn trilogy.
I've read the Timothy Zahn books.
Which is probably like Heir to the Empire. That one's known
I
like
like those ones the least. But
they are my least favorite as well. Yeah, like the Jedi Academy's great. The Bounty Hunter trilogy is amazing.
did you guys tend to prefer the around the same time as the original versus like I did a bunch of stuff for Old Republic?
the further out it went, the less I was interested. But also, with the time that I was reading Star Wars books, I was like an early teenager, so I was really like, I don't know, hormone driven, and I just really, really was like obsessed with the originals. So
That's
like,
fair.
I wanted to read like things that were like 4 years after, 8 years after, like.
I like the
Princess Leia.
familiarity, and they had hired someone that oversaw the continuity, no matter who the authors were of the whole expanded universe, so that it all was canon. And it wasn't until the prequels that Lucas said, "Nope, none of that's canon unless I choose it to be. I'm going to pick what I want," and blah blah blah. That's the thing that pissed me off. Say again?
The editor that like paid attention to the through line for all of the excited universe
Yeah.
was Barbara Hadley, I'm pretty sure.
That sounds familiar.
Just pull that out of your brain.
Well, she's a hero, and thank you wherever you are.
Oh,
You
she,
are
she did a great job because
Yeah.
the continuity was epic in all those books until Lucas came in and introduced midichlorians.
You know,
like, ugh.
When I was at my 10-year high school reunion, I saw a person I hadn't seen in a long time, and he had a tattoo on his leg, and I recognized what the tattoo was, and it was Grand Admiral Thrawn, which was from the books.
Cool.
And this was before, yes, this was before Clone Wars came out. Or
And Rebels.
Rebels?
Was he in Clone
He was
Wars
in
as well?
I think so.
Okay, because he's
Yeah.
featured
Wait,
heavily.
fact
in
check me.
But before that, like,
He's definitely in Rebels.
he was in the books, and the books basically were like dissolved, like their continuity.
Yeah, which was super
After they
annoying.
announced the movies, it was like, we're not following that. We're gonna do our own thing.
Ugh.
And I was like, how do you feel about having a tattoo on your leg that's no longer canon? And he just kind of had this like,
Wait, shouldn't we
it
just
is
love
canon
the
now.
characters we love? Like,
Yeah.
what does it matter?
I mean,
if it's,
especially with tattoos. Tattoos should be for you.
yeah, that's
Doesn't-
fair.
like, yeah. And you knew who it was.
Didn't
I
we
know.
all
He was
know
like,
that,
the
like,
point is you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was a time when we didn't all just agree that maybe George Lucas had some good ideas, but they're not all great, and we're fine with that now. You know,
Yeah.
like we've
People
all
can be
grown
good
up
at
and
not
moved on,
everything.
right? We know that like some ideas were stupid and we hate you for them.
Well, we haven't all grown up and moved on, but
You know, the people who hate Star Wars the most are Star Wars lovers. You know,
That is true.
they're always going to hate on it.
That's a
strongest.
whole other thing. That's just toxic fandom, and
Yeah.
I think there is some
that's a dark subject.
Yeah.
especially
But
when
like,
it comes
to
to the
me-
newer movies.
Yeah, it's important to separate it out that this is entertainment, and
Yep.
you know, not all of it you're going to enjoy on a personal level, and that's fine.
What you said about the Old Republic, I found that with like Jedi Academy trilogy, I liked it a lot because it took place like, I don't know, 8 years after Return of the Jedi, and it was familiar characters. I kind of wish that was made into movies at the time because it was like the appropriate amount of time had passed. And the actors would have passed for that, and it was a really awesome storyline moving forward. Dealt with the New Republic in a great way. Those new movies, unfortunately, I wish that they would have done something like the Old Republic. If you're going to make an episode 7, 8, and 9, then finish the story.
Yeah.
Like your story is an episode number for a reason.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do something different for the sake of doing something different, do something fucking different.
I feel like,
Like-
I feel like with the Disney trilogy, to me it felt like they just didn't have a plan
We all liked 7 though,
for
right?
3 movies.
I liked 7 because it
Because
wasn't.
we all
It
liked
was better
4,
than the prequels.
So we all like 7.
Yes, it was a new
didn't
hope
hate it.
again, and
Yeah.
it was with
Yeah.
modern technology, and it was fine.
I enjoyed that one because it set up so much exciting possibilities.
But then my biggest disappointment, a lot of people, if you say you don't like the second one, people try to lump all the dark stuff you were talking about, like people who hated it for the wrong reasons. I
Talking
hated.
Attack of the Clones.
No. Sorry, the chapter 8, Last Jedi. Yeah, Last Jedi.
8, okay.
Last Jedi has. If you don't like it, you get like labeled weird. But this ties into Star Trek. Is the new Picard series. You take this old hero that everyone loved with Picard, and he's gone kind of hermity after like something happened in life, and you get that gets explained, and then instead he rallies himself and got the energy left for one more fucking adventure, and that's what you want to see from your goddamn hero.
But
You
isn't
don't
that what they're
wanna
about to
see-
do? Aren't they? Isn't Ewan McGregor coming back to play Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
But Obi-Wan wasn't the hero of the original movies. It was fucking Luke.
He's the hero of his own story.
Well, that's fine. But like, then do that. But
also
like,
in Clone Wars,
with Luke,
just saying.
Luke was mishandled. Is what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
they brought him back.
There was a lot that was
There
mishandled.
was a ton that was mishandled.
The movie opened for me on a sour note with that stupid "Can you hear me?" joke. Hello? Are you
Oh, that
there?
was dumb.
Oh, are you there? Yeah. No. Oh, what was that? No, you're breaking up.
Yeah, that was
I can't.
that was lame.
I couldn't believe it.
But okay, we're not going to tear apart Last Jedi. We're talking about the Mandalorian. And something Lucas did right is created a character called Boba Fett. And Boba Fett, okay, he was a minor character, like a minor character. And I can't think of any. Maybe if you guys can, please help me out. But any minor character he had 3 lines of dialogue, 3 lines over 2 movies, was barely in them, and gained huge notoriety.
'Cause he looked like a
massive fandom.
You know,
There was books
I have to
written
say, there's something
Right?
about at the beginning so when you watch Mandalorian on Disney Plus or any of the Disney shows that are Star Wars, on that they have this opening title sequence that is a flash of helmets.
Yes.
And they've done this, it's sort of like what is the Simpsons rule that you have to be able, like Matt Groening says, that you have to be able to tell a character just by their outline.
Oh.
Right? And there's something about the helmets of these characters that are so iconic because they have this visual stamp, this symbol, that they can just run through them and you're just instantly like, yes, Vader, yes, Clone Trooper, yes, Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Right? The Mandalorians have this style that is so simple and elegant.
I mean, it's Roman. It's basically the Roman helmet.
Well, I mean,
Right?
and it's the crazy thing is that we only saw one, and now it's the Mandalorians. Like, not only did Boba Fett get his own book series, if you watch Rebels, what was her name? I wrote it down. Sabine. Sabine Wren is a.
From Mandalore.
She's from Mandalore, and there's a whole Mandalore series. Like, I had a friend from high school, Gorman, if you're watching, hi. He wrote his own fanfic episode 2 or 3 at the time when the prequels were coming out, and it was all about Mandalore. Like he was like and at the time we'd only ever seen Boba Fett still, and he was just like, no, fuck this. It's all like this is this whole crazy thing that happens.
Do you guys know much about the stuff? I think about Obi-Wan having to go to Mandalore and his involvement with that.
Satine?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Darth Maul's involvement there. What?
Darth Maul coming back with his like
I need to
spider
watch
body.
that.
It's so good. It's like what really happened to Darth Maul in the end is what?
Well,
Darth
that-
Maul should
that-
not have been killed off in one.
So good.
No,
They
he
bring
shouldn't
him
have. That was
back
a
in the
big
animated
mistake.
Series. For anybody who hasn't seen
But
Star Wars.
another character that I think recognizable just from outline and shape. Another character who only had a couple of lines, but people were just
He had a
blown
whole
away.
thing. If you watched, they released Duel of the Fates as a really long music video as lead up to Episode 1.
Yeah.
And in that there was a whole Darth Maul speech about fear that must have got cut from the movie, and
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I want to, but he has this whole like fear is my ally. Fear, like it was in there, and it was.
I think they
cool.
cut it out because they were like, this character needs to have the same sort of like badass mystique as like
Boba Fett?
or whatever.
Oh,
But I mean, he had it going on with the look. I mean, I remember
And the skills with a
before that
blade.
movie even came out, when I don't know if anyone ever read Star Wars Insider. Remember that magazine? But
I remember that, yeah.
I remember when they
Yeah.
when they showed Darth Maul's face for the first time on the front cover.
Oh, yeah.
Of Star Wars Insider. Before this was like maybe 2 or 3 months before the movie even came out. Maybe longer than that. Maybe it was definitely before the first trailer came out. And I remember just looking at this thing going, whoa, this is one badass looking
Yeah.
Jedi.
And then the
Darth-
first
you know,
time
like,
that they
this
had it
is
on
so
a
dope.
first time on a teaser trailer where the double blade comes out, and you're just like,
Lightsabers can do that?
it's my own table.
Well, actually, okay. I'm going to say this, and I saw your hand up, Ash. I'm going to throw to you in a sec. In the Jedi Academy trilogy, Kip Duron was the first time that there was a modded lightsaber that was like overclocked, and when he turns evil and he has to face off against Luke. Spoilers of the novels, but whatever. They're from like the 90s, and he when they're facing off, he flicks a switch, and his lightsaber doubles in length. And I was like, what?
Wait, in what?
In length.
No, in what was it from?
The Jedi Academy trilogy, Kevin J. Anderson.
In the book.
In the books, in the novels, yeah. Super cool.
I wonder if that was a nod to the double telescoping lightsabers from the toys.
I had one of
don't
those
know.
from the Sith one, but every time you turn it up because it had two, the top one was
Oh, yeah, and it had the little like
No, but I
clasp
mean,
to
like,
log it in place.
It did not work.
Oh,
You're thinking about the actual lightsaber toy,
Yeah.
right? No, like in the 70s when they released the first batch of Star Wars figures, you know how they had the lightsaber, like it was a little hinge in the arm, and you press it forward and it comes out of the hand, right? In the old 70s action figures, right? The first run of them had a double telescope, so it came out the one time, and then there was a tiny little bit that came out. You pulled it out even further, and then they got rid of that because it was just small and fiddly, and it would always break off. I wonder if it was kind of like a nod to that.
I don't know.
Because there's also lots of toy nods and like Easter eggs in Mandalorian as well.
Yeah.
Right, with the troop transporter, which was never in anything until Mandalorian. It was always a toy.
Well, wasn't the troop transporter in in Clone Wars?
I don't think so. I think the first time we ever saw the Stormtrooper transporter was in Mandalorian. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I recognized immediately what it was. Like I saw it and I was like, "Oh, this is this."
Maybe, I mean, maybe. But yeah, they've always had this. So I wonder if it's a similar thing where they kind of did like these little Easter eggs that kind of were nods to the toys
super
and stuff
fun.
like that.
this took me a really long time. Ash, you had your hand up. Is it still relevant?
Yes.
Oh, what's up?
Someone called Nicholas Kedrock
We don't know him.
would like to know what Trevor's thoughts are on Darth Bane.
Darth Bane.
Extended universe.
Yeah, why
Obviously,
am I having trouble
he has no
reminding
thoughts
exactly
on
where that
Darth
is?
He has a voice like no. I was gonna say I was gonna do a bit. I don't know.
Do you feel like you have the Force?
It's Old Republic, I believe.
Is it Old Republic stuff? I think it is.
It's like I think it's pre-Darth Plagueis. I could be wrong, and the internet's gonna hate
Oh,
me.
ask him. Darth Bane is from
mean,
what?
what
it
is
Knights
he-
of the Old Republic?
I'm looking.
I think the answer is Trevor has no opinion.
No strong
I
feelings.
mean, we could talk about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis.
Darth Bane was a legendary human.
It
male
was
Darth
such a
Lord.
tragedy. I mean, and then his apprentice killed him.
I never would have seen that
Plagueis.
coming.
Right?
I mean, that's totally out of the Sith.
Yeah, that's not a
playbook, right?
Sith like
Not at all.
go-to move. What? Sorry, what, Ash?
He was the sole survivor of the destruction of the Brotherhood of Darkness that the hands of the Jedi ordered during the Sith War 1,000 years before the Clone Wars. As the only surviving Sith, Bane recognized that Sith had weakened them to the point that the Jedi could destroy them, direct blah, 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 Wikipedia.
So what are your thoughts?
Oh, you're on Wikipedia. I was wondering where he came from.
Your thoughts? 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds like a good dude. Sounds
Sounds like he's
Seems
really
very-
set up the world.
Very
Yeah.
Sithy.
yeah, super sounds
Sith.
sounds kind of Sith typical. I don't know. It's totally ringing a bell, but not for.
He was the
not a hard
starter
bell.
of There Can Only Be Two, I think.
Bane.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, because there can only be a master and
It's
apprentice.
only you and I.
Only you and I.
I keep hearing the way Trevor does that voice.
As if there's
Laura nailed it.
we'll fight, and that's all we'll do. They're just so power hungry, they can't have more than 2.
Oh, that's
a
what he
master and
did. He
apprentice.
made 2. He's the first one that established the 2.
That's right, because she was
just-
born in the darkness. Sorry.
That's okay.
You cannot do the voice.
I know you can.
Ah, Darth Vader.
Okay.
You'll die when I say you can die.
But does anybody play the Old Republic game?
I have not.
I haven't
Knights
in a
of the
long
Old Republic?
time.
Not Knights of the Old Republic, although great game, but just the Old Republic, the online MMO.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I stayed away from
that's
that.
That's how
lose my
how
life.
that game's been around for a while, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so fun.
So I remember when internet cafes were a thing, and I was always a console gamer, but a bunch of my friends were like, "You got to come and play Knights of the Old Republic."
No, it's just Old
Just
Republic.
Old
Sorry,
Republic.
Old Republic online.
call it Tor.
We'll go to the internet cafe. We'll do a whole deal. It'll be amazing. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really a PC gamer. He's like, no, it'll be cool. You should come. They only wanted me to come because they knew that I would just be fodder and I would just get like, But I went there and I was a total one of those,
masher?
a key masher, and just like owned them, and it really pissed them off.
Oh, great.
It really pissed them off.
Oh, well
that's
done.
my only. That's my only. experience.
I remember when there was an MMO coming out for Star Wars, and it said you could be. I don't know if this delivered on its promises, because it was one of those games that said you could be a bounty hunter, or you could be a Hutt, or you could be like whatever in the galaxy.
I mean,
Did
it's
that come
still
true or
still
no?
limited, but you can be a bounty hunter. You can be a trooper. You can be light side, dark side.
Who wants to be a Hutt? You just lounge around and eating frogs and stuff. You're just like,
But I mean, the cool part about it is you travel to all the worlds. You get
As a
lost
Hutt?
in the underbelly of planetary systems at the same time that you're in space battles.
Some people might want to be a Hutt. Maybe you want to go in and
you
you
can
want
be
to
a Hutt in your own home. You don't need to be.
You guys, that is 2020's pandemic. We're all
Like,
Hutts
but
now.
if you could make it like a class in a game where you're given like minions that you send out to do things, and you've already started.
So
with a certain
boring
amount
though.
of-
You just sit there and
But
wait.
maybe it's not. Maybe
Shannon
you
would
get
play
to,
that
like-
game.
Like people play games where you build a freaking, and yes, Shannon would, where you build like a house or you build a factory. I know Alex and Shannon are playing a factory building game right now.
Okay.
Like not right now. Alex is live switching. You better not be playing it right now, Alex.
He's laughing right now.
We can hear him laugh. He's like.
And then I just want to say before we get into other stuff too, we were talking about books that are in accepted canon or not. But have you ever read Death Troopers?
No.
Ooh, no.
Zombies in the Star Wars universe.
What?
It is
tracks.
amazing and it's so good, and I loved it so much. And I just think that if Disney is watching,
You never know.
They've got someone watching us for
Kathleen
sure.
Kennedy.
oh my gosh, if she's watching, can we be best friends? Hello, Kathleen.
Sorry, we said shit about the.
Yeah,
the other,
but
the other
no, but I
Oh,
think
I'll talk more.
We have all this fun content, and I think we loved Star Wars as kids. A lot of content is aimed at a younger audience. Maybe not The Mandalorian. We can talk about that more. But like the episodes
going
1, 2,
to.
3. I know episodes
Go,
1,
go,
2, 3. We didn't love them, but they were for a different audience. They were for kids, so kids could get into Star Wars. There should just be Disney by day Star Wars, and there should be Disney by dark. We should
Agreed.
have spooky. We should have scary. We should have Star Wars horror, and Disney. You should do that. Too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we should. And to
As long as it's not like Baywatch Nights.
That would do really well.
it sadly would. Okay, so I'm going to warn the audience right now. No, didn't work. I'm going to warn you guys at home right now. If you don't want to hear spoilers for the first episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian, then watch the rest of this one after you've watched it. I'm not going to say turn it off or don't watch the rest. I'm going to say
You could just mute it.
watch it later.
Just
Or
come
mute
back.
it. Yeah, and just
Come
like
back.
get in the chat. Okay, so now we are going to, spoiler alert, We're getting in the spoilers. So,
Does Nora just want to yell out something?
Boba Fett! No, sorry.
What? I wanted to say it.
I'm sorry, you took too long. I've been trying to.
You gave him half a second.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so Boba Fett. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, essentially, this first episode, I started watching it, and like me and Ash were watching it, and she even pointed out, she's like, why does this feel so Western? Like, it feels so much like a Western. Like more so than everything in the first season. To the point where he walks into the bar and they added like spur sound effects on his footsteps.
When did you know it was Timothy Oliphant? Like, instantly, right? Did you see that tall, thin, sexy frame?
I didn't.
And you were like,
I didn't know it was Timothy Oliphant.
Hey, friend.
I'm embarrassed to say I haven't seen Deadwood. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I didn't know it was Timothy Oliphant until I heard his voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
for
me too.
But yeah, like, so when you're watching the show, it's like, oh my God, what's his name? The main character in The Mandalorian.
Jin.
Thank you.
Mando.
Yeah, Mando.
I thought you were talking about the actor's name.
No.
I was like, what?
Pedro Pascal.
Yes. When he gets in the episode, he's going and he's looking for another Mandalorian. Like, he wants to find more Mandalorians, and they send him to
Don't we all?
Tatooine. And when he gets to this little town, Buddy walks in and he's wearing fucking Boba Fett's armor, which made me lose my mind. But also, I was super disappointed because that was clearly not Boba Fett.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like literally
Yeah,
within
it was
like a
clearly
half a
the guy from
second.
Justified.
You see the armor, you're like, oh, Boba, and then you're like,
Yeah,
oh, you look at the frame
yeah.
of the dude. I'm like, that's not Boba Fett.
No.
Yeah.
That's someone else.
He
Like
looks
a really
lame.
old, withered Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's like Boba Fett has not been eaten well.
Yeah.
He's been starved, and he's
Just tall and slim, you guys. He was like that on Justified.
Okay, we're not talking about the.
Okay, we can talk about the Timothy Oliphant Club that Roz is the president of later, but for now, we're going to talk about how the character he played in this show
Fine, move on.
was just wearing Boba Fett's armor, and I was super bummed because when he's looking for a Mandalore and he's on Tatooine, I was all excited. And then it gets there, you see the armor, and I went, shit, because I was excited for the potential of the expanded universe. All the stuff like the Bounty Hunter trilogy where Boba Fett shoots his way out of the Sarlacc pit and then goes on other adventures. I was so stoked for that, and then I was crushed. I was like, oh, it's not going to happen.
Also, another toy Easter egg in that episode with the rocket firing backpack.
Yeah.
It's in reference to the original toy,
Which
had a rocket firing effect.
Okay, so major spoiler alert. Very end of the episode, there's a guy standing there, and you see the back of him, and when he turns around, it's the same actor who played Jango Fett, which, since the whole retconning of the prequels, Jango Fett is just, he had a clone, and that's
Tim
Boba Fett.
Morrison.
Yes, and it's Boba Fett without the helmet on, which blew my fucking mind, and then made me look back at the episode and go, like, not actually go back, but go and like connect dots that I just ignored, like the fact that they say like the jetpack fired a rocket, and that's in the Bounty Hunter trilogy. That's how he gets his he shoots.
And what
that
happened to
at
the
Sarlacc.
what happened to the Sarlacc, right? They mention
Yeah, they say like, oh, this crate dragon is inside a cave. But it's a cave of a dead Sarlacc. Pfft, dead Sarlacc. How does that happen? You kill it. A vacant Sarlacc pit. No, I think he says you kill it.
I think they implied that the crate dragon probably ate it.
Yeah,
but,
that's what the implication was.
Okay.
But that was like a hypothesis.
I never read any of the Boba Fett books, so
Bounty Hunter trilogy.
yeah.
Read it.
Maybe I will. But like when I was a kid, when I was really into reading the books, like I wasn't interested in the bounty hunters. I was into the Jedi.
The way she said
Lauren
that
was
just so
thirsty for
disturbing.
Jedi.
I was fucking thirsty.
For the double telescoping lightsabers.
Yes. So I don't know any of the story after he went into the Sarlacc pit. I just always assumed he's dead. That's it.
Well, that's what we all assumed, and that's why the Bounty Hunter trilogy, like the expanded universe, was so amazing because like suddenly a book comes along that says, guess what?
Until we watched Robot Chicken Star Wars, we all thought he was dead.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But yeah, he fell down in there, and like the part of that book that's really cool is it starts with that, and then he's in there, and like the whole like you're gonna be thrown in the Sarlacc pit where you're digested for slowly over 1,000 years. He's like, oh shit, this isn't 1,000 years, like it's eating through my armor now. And so he fires his rocket at the like intestinal wall, essentially, or stomach wall of the Sarlacc pit, and it creates
Science.
Yeah.
Science, yeah.
Well, it'd be stomach, the wall of his stomach.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Checks out.
If he's in acid, I assume. Anyway,
does
but
it
he
make
shoots it, and it claws his way to the surface, and he's like, there's acid still eating through his armor and shit, and then Dengar finds him, the guy who looks like he's wrapped in toilet paper.
Yeah. So was that the call out then when he says, I didn't do these things to my armor? Or like, I didn't, because when,
Timothy Oliphant?
yeah, when he,
I think they're talking also about that there's that like.
because
you
there's
can
like a bullet.
Clearly see the
kind of-
bullet wound. Yeah.
That dent was always in Boba Fett's
Is it?
helmet.
It's
Yeah.
very pronounced, but maybe it's just because there's more paint
There's a
off
dent
of
that's
it.
always there. It does look a little more raggedy than...
It's just
It's
Actually,
been a
okay,
it's just
while.
it's all paint stripped, right?
Nobody
Like all the-
I know loves Boba Fett more than my brother. Casey, has the bullet hole always been, or like the dent on his
In the
helmet?
helmet, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's always
Always
been
been
there.
there.
Is like for the character Boba Fett. The assumption is that he took Jango's armor, and it's the damage that armor has sustained.
So there should be a big lightsaber wound right across the neck.
Oh no, because they when Windu chopped Jango's head off.
Yeah.
That happened right underneath the helmet.
Yeah, no, I know.
The helmet was
Because they
completely
went dung,
intact.
dung, dung, dung.
Oh, yeah,
Boba
he's like
Fett
holding the
picked it
helmet,
up
and I just-
then held his head to it.
Yeah.
Oh, the one thing
Right?
only
So
one
sad.
of the things that I traumatically remember from Attack of the Clones was when they're on Kamino.
We're gonna make a list of
And,
traumatic things. from
Yeah, no,
Attack
when
of
they're
the
on
Clones.
Kamino and they knock on Jango Fett's door and young Boba Fett answers and he's like, "Oh hey," he's like, "And who are you?" "Oh, I'm Boba Fett." That's probably I'm paraphrasing. He's like, "Is your father home?" "Hey, dead." Because they're all like Maori actors, right? It's like, "Hey, dad." Like, I'm from New Zealand, so it's okay. I can do this. And it's like, "Hey, dad, there's someone here to see you, hey." You know, and I was just like, "Ah, there it is, New Zealand on the big screen." You know, it's like, and I was waiting for that moment at the end of Mandalorian where he turns around and Tim Morrison is sort of like, "Yeah, that's right, I'm Boba Fett, bro."
So they're just like Catwoman, like at the end of the second Batman movie where she just like comes up into frame.
Oh, just brrr.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hi, I'm back."
Great, in front of the moon.
Yeah.
So here's a question that I was wondering what you guys think about this. We don't have an answer to this. This is speculation. But Jango Fett, in the prequels, we see him without his helmet on.
Yeah.
So do you think that the storyline of The Mandalorian, where the whole, like, this is the way, and then never take their helmet off for another living being to see them, is that only for foundlings, or is that like a born Mandalorian thing? Because like,
That's
if we're talking canon,
Land thing, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, they
because
don't do that in
Rebels. No, they go to Mandalore and everyone's taking their fucking helmet off. They don't give a
But
shit. They're
I
just
thought
like,
it was
yeah,
like
hey, what's
because
up?
like
What's going on?
Mandalorian's like a clan society, and there's some clans that are like a lot more into it than other clans.
Yeah, so
Other clans are like, eh.
But
So our Mando hero in this is obviously like the extremist version of a Mandalorian. He's like, yeah.
oh, like he's a zealot. I don't know though. Like, I mean, he follows the doctrine, he follows the way.
Yeah, that's
but
so
he
he
also
follows
has
the
gone-
Bible. It's a similar thing, right?
No,
Like people
I get
that
what
are-
you're saying. They would have their own zealotry,
Yeah.
but because Django, you look at Django takes his helmet off. Like the original Boba
But he's also
Fett-
rejected his own society by the way he's getting into
Yeah, he's sold out, right?
Yeah.
has he?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's getting some cash to
living on
to-
Camino doing this clone
Where
thing.
is it written that Mandalorians are like, you're not allowed to clone yourself? Like, has that
Well, you're not
that
allowed to
happened?
share the ways of Mandalore with other people. Like
Yeah.
that's
I guess.
you're also
a very
you're also making
insulated
clones for an
community.
army that is going to destroy. Yeah.
Like the world, it seemed like
We're
they
just
were
gonna keep going,
very
actually.
opposed to outsiders coming in, and like the Jedi try to come in to like help with a dispute, and they were like, "We don't want you here," and like the spoilers if you haven't seen Clone.
We already,
TV
yeah,
show.
spoilers. This is spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah, don't come in
but,
here and
like,
seduce
Satine's
our
like,
queen, our
she's
really
like
pretty queen.
the diplomatic leader of the world, and the world's not really cool on really anything that looks like diplomacy, and they don't like the Jedi being there. But she's like, "Please come in, because this is getting out of control. There's a
Yeah.
lot of factions that are trying to kill each other," and like, yeah, they're not happy with it. So, I don't
My assumption
Is Django
think they're quite insulated.
is Django even a Mandalorian? Do we know that?
We don't know for
We
sure.
don't know that because
Was
like
he raised with the values?
well, or he could have just been a dude that like killed a Mandalorian and got his armor, right?
Yeah.
Because there's even that moment in episode 2 where he's like, "Who are you? Whatever. I'm just a guy trying to make my way through the galaxy." You know, he doesn't specifically say that. He's
Yeah.
But he also
Mandalorian or
has a
whatever.
Mandalorian ship, and well, does he? Wait.
Is the slave one a Mandalorian ship?
I guess we have some research to do.
Yeah, but the thing my hypothesis is that because Mando in The Mandalorian is a foundling and there's all this emphasis on the foundling society of like if you're rescued by the Mandalorians, then you're either returned to your people or you're brought to age and then trained in their way, and from the time you adopt their doctrine and then put the helmet on, not another living being can see it. I think that's to not like, if you're a Mandalore-born Mandalorian, I don't think you have to do that. I think it's only for foundlings.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, it's possible, sure.
That's my hypothesis.
So what if they can't find Baby Yoda's family? Does he become a foundling and then he has to be like a adorable little
I
Baby
so
Yoda?
hope so. Can you imagine a little like Yoda-sized like badass Mandalorian Jedi?
Do they make little holes in the side of his helmet so his ears can stick out the side?
Or he just has two little pointy, like,
Or do you make armor out the sides
Yeah.
with
Oh, points? No, but they
Yeah.
move. So you gotta like it would have
you
to
have
be
to
hinged
sacrifice
or
for a
something.
helmet.
right? Fashion is about taking risks.
Everywhere he goes, his like ears like boom on the doors because they're like metal and it's just sticking out.
I don't know
the side
how
of
I don't know how a creature like that could wear a helmet though, because he's always eating.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's like it's always like
He just needs like a spot that just opens.
yeah, just or like a
Yeah.
Just put this little Baby Yoda hat on. This is the way. And he's like, eh.
He would be super badass though, because I mean, the one thing I will say about the prequels, there were great moments in those movies, and it did have a cohesive story at least. Like it wasn't great, but it was cohesive. There was a through line.
I like the story.
The moment that Yoda freaking pulled out his lightsaber and started
Yes.
flipping off the walls, I lost my mind.
everyone did. Yeah.
Like lost my mind, and to
That's
see
great.
that as a Jedi Mandalore, so he's armored and has force powers.
Yeah.
Like that's OP. That's Star Wars OP. That's as OP as you can get as an
But he's
individual.
gonna. I'm just so like he's so cute. I just want him to stay cute forever. It's
Well,
like-
I'm worried that
I mean,
like
he's
No, but
50
he
years
will because
old.
right now he's already like what 100 and something
He's
years
I think
old.
he's,
He's
I think he's like
old, yeah.
50.
Yeah, he's 50. They say he's 50.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
50?
He
Okay, and
went
and
looking for a
Yoda when
50-year-old
Yoda died, he was like what 900?
900. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got time.
But 900 years.
We got 9 seasons in a movie.
900. Who knows how?
No,
old
in
he actually-
100 years, he's gonna be going through puberty, and he's like, "Get off my back, Dad."
Dad, I don't want to go in the space. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the implications of Boba Fett being in The Mandalorian blew, like it actually, I was crying at the end.
Like, we all knew
Like,
it was
I-
coming though, right?
I didn't.
Oh, I did not know.
Come on, like it's the show about Mandalorians. Like,
So?
Sarlacc pit.
they had to have
We had
Boba
the
Fett
dark
in there
saber
somewhere.
at the end of season 1. So,
That's
like,
true.
We could have
Yeah,
been.
I-
We
oh,
could
I
have.
lost my
I thought
shit.
the season 2
I
was
was
going to
way
be all
more
dark
excited
saber
about that.
stuff.
Well, I was excited about, like, the darksaber I thought was cool as hell, but seeing, like, the fact that that's Boba Fett made the possibility of exploring the expanded universe something that might happen now. And one of the things that I always, like, I hated that they didn't do was clones in the expanded universe were dark spots in the Force to Jedi. So, like, the whole, like, all living things are connected. Jedis couldn't sense the actions of clones.
So weird. Why?
Which, I thought that was cool, though,
So weird.
because they're artificially created.
Why does that matter?
Because they're not part of the balance of life. And because it's all bullshit made up, and that's how.
Okay,
them-
But
Yeah,
but
sure,
but
okay.
hold on,
But
but
if
hold
it's
on, but
all
hold
bullshit
on,
made up and
but
it's
hold on,
wrong.
but hold on, time
None of
out.
it's
But hold
real.
on. If they're artificial, well, isn't technically a being created by midichlorians? Isn't that artificially created too?
Well,
Isn't that
expanded
kind of-
universe stuff was before midichlorian stuff.
Right. Okay.
That's the thing. Is like it's all trying to find a balance of storytelling with.
Because the writer said so.
Because the writer said so.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I liked the dark spot in the Force thing because it would have. That's the only thing that Order 66 would have worked with, because otherwise you just have a bunch of clones that are just walking around with Jedi, and the Jedi's who typically can sense and block shit. What? Why were they able to be killed by all the stupid clone troopers?
Well, the clones were on their side. They had a chip that was activated. It was a biological chip that was
Yeah.
switched.
Yeah, and we're
So?
also talking about an army of millions of Tim Ware and Morrisons. fucking badass. You know, have you guys seen Once Were Warriors?
but like if they're not like if you can't sense them in the Force, then why would all of these Jedi Masters have all of a sudden like fallen susceptible? They would know. As soon as they're about to turn on them, they would just be like.
They were. A bunch of them turned just as it was happening.
Some of them.
Yeah, but they would know before that. They would.
There's only so much time and
They're not
time.
infallible. They're not infallible. Some of them were kind of shitty.
But not
Yeah,
the Masters.
yeah, I mean-
if you're on the Jedi Council, you're not dying from a dude with a blaster. It's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree that it's kind
They're
of.
also
Did we ever
distracted
see
by the war.
anyone from the Jedi Council die other than Mace Windu?
From the Jedi Council?
Yeah.
we saw like Plo Koon, Kit Fisto.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, yeah,
We
yeah.
saw most of them die.
Sorry, I forgot because I blanked out a lot.
Rest in
of
peace.
This is like.
that. Did Yaddle die?
Mace Windu we never actually saw die.
Yeah, we saw. Okay, well, yeah, he. Well, we didn't see him die.
No.
What are you talking about?
No, he just.
He got his arms chopped off. By
Palpatine didn't fucking die, and he just.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
that-
Okay,
Palpatine just
okay.
got
That
all,
is a
like,
bigger problem for a future episode.
Darth Maul didn't die, and he got cut in half.
That was the best thing, and wait until you see him come back. You just gotta watch the show.
Oh, he's so
no, I've
badass.
watched Rebels,
Like-
so I know
Oh,
he's
okay,
still
okay,
alive
okay.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I just I loved the inclusion of Dathomir in canon.
The what?
Dathomir, the planet. It's in.
Oh.
It's where Zybrax, which
something
is like what Darth Maul is, where they come from.
Oh, yes.
It's a harsh place.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's all like.
Ash is gonna love the Night Sisters when she gets to learn about those guys.
Oh, they're
I gave up on it, but I
Witches.
was playing that newest Star Wars game.
But Battlefront?
No. The one where you play as a Jedi you play as a Padawan that survives Order 66.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
shoot.
just played that.
Matt plays
So
this.
good. You get to go to Dathomir.
Yeah, you go to Dathomir, and there's but the game was uber difficult, and I gave up on it.
Just put it in story mode. It's fine.
I should, yeah.
It's fine. Everybody, it's fine. Put it in story mode. Enjoy the story. A lot of people worked really, really hard for you to play this game. Put the game in story mode. Enjoy the work of all those writers, all of those game developers, all those testers, all those programmers. Just do it. It's fine. Put it in story mode.
Heck yeah.
Don't let the internet judge you. They're a bunch of jerk faces. Doesn't matter.
Before we are basically out of time.
Well, we're not going to get to chapter 10 of Mandalorian?
What?
The new episode. that
Nor
came out
watched it today while
Chapter-
we were
oh.
shooting.
Oh,
Well,
I
technically,
watched it.
chapter 9 was
You
episode 1 of
cheers.
season 2, and now
Oh,
chapter 10.
sorry. Episode 2.
The Passenger.
Well, there's nothing.
What's the title of the next one? The first one was The Marshal.
The second one was
Same with the
Passenger.
Oliphant. So good.
The Passenger.
Passenger.
Yeah,
seen it?
but
Yeah, it
it's,
came out this morning. It came out today.
Yeah, it came out this morning.
You see that, like, hasn't anybody seen it?
I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're
I
on this
was
panel.
working, Nor. I was working.
I would technically today it would have counted to watch it as work because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But
I watched it this morning when I got to
the
work.
only thing I'll say about it is that what you were talking about earlier about Star Wars Dark or Star Wars After Dark or
Star
whatever.
Wars by night, Star Wars dark. I don't care what you
Star
call it,
Wars
just
After
make it.
Dark, Red Shoe Diaries, Star Wars edition.
Yes, because I would watch that.
Part
Oh,
of,
what if
part
it
of
had
the
what's
second
his name in it?
episode?
David Duchovny?
yeah.
Kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Part of the, I'd say it's kind of creepy.
What is?
The like certain part like the later half of this episode, second episode.
Creepy. How did he get creepy? What you mean with the spider? The spider creepy?
Western horror.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I thought it was awesome.
I see that could be something that I could see stuff like that leading to bigger, more.
It was a fun
horrific
event. It was
scenarios.
basically like, yeah, there's no, even if spoilers isn't really a thing because nothing really happens in this episode. It was just a fun adventure.
Yeah.
It was like a side quest.
Mando's cool. The child is cute.
Yes, and
Yeah.
sadly they don't. Nothing pays off after finding out about Boba Fett at the end of episode 1. And Casey had the. You were dead right about the last bit. Like, go ahead and say. I'm not going to say for you. Do you like what your idea at the end there? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a perfect opportunity for Slave One to just enter frame and then follow him like they did when the Millennium Falcon was on the Star Destroyer and it like dropped off and then he just kind of like ignited his engines and then chased after the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
Would have been a perfect thing for that.
Missed a moment.
Yeah, they could have done that. I mean,
Maybe
I
they
don't
have
know.
a plan. Maybe they have a plan.
They probably. I hope they have a plan. But
I think they do.
But I think he was dead right. Is like because it literally ends with a shot of the ship flying away, which isn't a big spoiler. It's just the ship flying, and you could have just had, and it would have been perfect. But yeah.
Brilliant.
Anyway, we are past time, people. So thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
And before we go, need to say to both you and to Alex and to Lonnie, who was on a recent episode, congratulations. Tomorrow's the season finale. So the first completed season of a show on a Filthy Lots YouTube
Drawn and
channel.
Drawn and Cornered, Evan Dorkin, tomorrow at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So congrats, Norm. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It was super fun. Season 2 is going to be even better.
Yeah. And that's something we're going to strive for here, is always improving the shows that we have in some way or another. So yeah, congrats to everybody part of the Drawn and Cornered team. I don't remember what else is coming up. What's coming up next week?
We got some
stay
cool
tuned.
shit.
Witchcraft next week. Do we have anything on Monday?
Next weekend will be Beyond Brain. Next weekend. This weekend's Drawn and Cornered.
This weekend's Drawn and Cornered. Nothing on Sunday? Nothing on Sunday.
Nothing on Sunday.
Okay, so yeah, so stay tuned, everybody. Check us out. We'll be back next week for episode 20. We're at our 20th episode already of Filthy Talk. And until then, stay filthy.